Sun's coming up, the drinks are hot, and now it's time for our first cup today, grief. Welcome to Alamitos Beach. Done a lot of processing out here while I've lived in the city of Long Beach. Thought it would be an appropriate scene to tell you a story about some things I learned from my time as a professor. One of the reasons that I was drawn to social psychology was that it was a way to kind of understand what was really going on in the world. It's a way to knock down a bunch of what I saw at the time as more superstitious beliefs. Maybe they weren't all superstitious. Some of them were definitely kind of like regular person interpretations of the world. Right? Nonetheless, these were interpretations that didn't necessarily have a whole lot of gravity to them, at least from what I saw, when they were tested, either in the lab or, more importantly, in the real world. So as such, I would start off every class that I taught of at least applied social psych or methodology, and I would tell my students by the third or fourth slide on introduction day that my job was to break them and remake them. I was good at it too. The breaking, of course, referring to the destruction of that stuff that I was talking about, the superstitious, the misunderstood, the misinformed perhaps, or the disinformed. And the remaking was replacing it with a, if not an answer, well, to be honest, usually it wasn't an answer, a framework with which to look at what was going on, to test it, to try and figure things out for themselves. But there was a side effect in a lot of this breaking and remaking that I came to find while I was a teacher, and that was grief. Because as it turned out, a lot of people, whether their beliefs are informed by the rigor of science, the hope instantiated by the supernatural, the ideas and stories that can hold a culture together, that can hold a nation together. A lot of times, these beliefs figured into how people saw themselves as well, and so to help them see the light meant to illuminate a part of themselves that they may not have known needed to be looked into. To be clear, I don't feel bad about this, but I did see a responsibility in doing it. Because, I was taught growing up, you break something, you clean it up. And if you can, you replace it, right? Sure, accidents happen. Sure, sometimes things intentionally get broken. But you break it, you clean it up, you replace it if you can. I took that and I adapted it for the classroom. Because I realized that if I was the one breaking and leading the cleanup and then replacing it, I wasn't giving my students or my clients later on, space to grieve. Because it turns out beliefs are very important to a lot of people. And if we're being super social psychologists about it, we know the most protective cognitive biases that we have are ego protective, the ones that protect us as individuals. And so, in my classes, I incorporated space for my students to grieve. Not necessarily doing it openly and in front of everyone, no, but giving them space anyway, personally, to express how things had changed, to express why things had changed. In fact, a lot of time during office hours when students would come to see me, they would tell me, oh, I had this conversation with my spouse, and we've been thinking about this thing, and it led to a week of discussion and turmoil. But in the end, it was better for us to see the world as it is. We'd been arguing over nothing. Mission accomplished. But all this is to say, as someone who is constantly encouraging myself, my friends, my clients, my family, you, everyone that can hear me, as someone who is encouraging change and growth, I understand that sometimes that change comes with a removal of something important, the death of something important. And that's why I just want to make it absolutely clear that while you are changing, while you are growing, while you are becoming more than you are, it is important, if not imperative, to leave space for grief. Now, please remember that no matter what you've heard or what I've said, death comes for us all, and a closed mouth never gets fed. Take care of yourselves. Keep up the good fight. We'll speak again soon.